It's the opening night and they're lighting the lights. The orchestra is tuning to make sure they sound right. It's time to start our show tonight.
Well, it really germinated from a show called Rain that was that I brought up to Calgary, my hometown, to play for 5 songs for a radio station that was commemorating the John Lennon mural during their sweeps, which is when they try to get more listeners, etc. So they were doing this as a stunt, if you will. So I asked a friend of mine to put together a Beatles band. Like, it was only 5 songs, and I had a musician friend that could have got some studio guys together and cracked off 5 songs and just done that. And instead, he said, well, there's some existing groups you should check out, and he sent me some links to, one of them was Rain, and I went online and listened to them, and they were like, well, they were dead on. And so I phoned him up and said, so is this really you guys, or did you guys just take tracks from the Beatles? And I said, no, it's really us. I said, well, you guys are good. I've never heard anything quite that good. So why don't you come up and do these 5 songs? And we arranged for that. And I said, at the same time, the concert hall happened to be available. Let's put on a show, actually 2. And the radio station, again, part of their sweeps, was able to really pound the advertising to make it work. And we sold out 2 shows. I thought, this is crazy. The show's called Rain. Most people don't know that's a Beatles song. I mean, I do. It's one of my favorite ones, actually. Lennon song, it's B-side of Paperback Rider, but anyways, so it's called Rain, a tribute to the Beatles. The word was in there, but so the bottom line is that I said, well, this is like magic. There's something strange that's happened here, which I didn't ever expect and never wanted to do. So we tried it in other parts of Canada, Vancouver, Edmonton, Toronto, etc., and it kept working. I was going, wow, this is crazy. So we ended up taking it to the States and trying it a few places there. Some it succeeded, some it did not. Until my dream was that because I was booking a lot of Broadway type shows in Calgary and around, that this could actually fit in a theatrical Broadway type market, that the same people that went and saw Cats and Les Mis, Mamma Mia, that this would satiate that audience. And in the States they have subscription series where you can buy into like 5 shows. There would be like, Cats, Mamma Mia, Les Mis, and I thought Rain. And of course everyone said, you're nuts, it's a tribute show, nobody's gonna signify that with theater. But we got a lucky break actually in Texas. There was a show that fell out of a series, so it couldn't show up. They needed something quickly, and our agent said, well, try this show, it may work, and it worked. And there was a 2-week booking that had subscription sales, and it worked. So then the rest of the country said, okay, but work there, work elsewhere. We took it to Broadway, knowing that we sort of had that sort of ability to sell tickets to those kind of people. That worked like crazy, again, against all odds, and we ended up staying for a year, which was 10, and originally 10 weeks. And then someone from the West End got a hold of us and said, well, you should try it over here. I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Bring a Beatles show to the West End, that's gonna work. But being the fan that I am, and sort of like, my wife tells me we'd have a lot more rooms in our house, I guess, if I hadn't tried some of these dumb ideas, but just kind of went along with. Some of them work, some of them don't. So we did. So we brought it over here and trained an all UK cast. Well, strangely enough, our Paul's from Italy. He just happened to be the best guy that could sing Paul. And it's not about what you look like, or it's about how, close your eyes, I hear Paul McCartney, and with this guy, that's what you do. And we changed the name to Let It Be. The theater said, the name Rain's not going to sell, and I wanted to change it anyways, and we came up with that name, and that worked out. I separated from the group Rain. It's a long story and painful one. They went on their way, we went on our way, and Let It Be again was supposed to be there for, I think it was 10, 12 weeks. And it did great business there, to the point where I said, well, I'd like to, let's keep it around. So to make a long story short, we just finished doing our 1,000th show in the West End. And then it's gone out and toured throughout the UK. It's been to Liverpool once before at the Empire. Did this, I think it was the best date in the whole tour, which gave us confidence to come back and do this. And it's since been to like Tokyo, where we're going back for a 3rd time, Moscow, Singapore, through the Netherlands, not through the Netherlands, through Scandinavia, and still continues on in the States and Canada. So
what was it like when he told you had the parts in? Was it the feeling?
Man, I found out on New Year's Eve, and it was the best New Year's Eve present. And funnily enough, we had a gig that night, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We were playing at weddings together anyway. A friend of mine put me forward. I said, they need Lennons, do you want to audition? We did 3 auditions over like 10 weeks or something. When they eventually called and said, we want you to come in tomorrow in a costume fit, and you got the job, and it was, wow. That night I had a gig in a pub and I was just playing, going, it's great.
It's fantastic. We played the best music of the world. And so, if you are a musician, playing the Beatles is it's the best. It's maximum.
First and foremost, the show is about the music of the Beatles.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we have to nail the music. And then there's a lot of homework to get the acting thing. But you know, you do have to embrace it, you really do, because you really want to show the audience they are coming and seeing the closest thing to seeing the Beatles. So you embrace it, you get on with it, and you love it.
I know it's really tough because everyone thinks this could be easy, but the acting's, you're really hiring musicians, you know, I mean, that's first and foremost, and they need to develop the mannerisms of them, so, you know, that can be taught. But to be able to sing and play, and more importantly, you've got to sing like and play like they did. You can't be looking down your guitar, you know, like you got to be, so you really have to know how to play your instrument as well as sing, vocalize, and harmonize like they did, which, you know, that's not easy to do. So, you know, it's really hard to find cast members, quite frankly. We search all the time trying to find new ones, and yeah, it's difficult compared to any other show because, you got to be able to play and sing, and, you know, somewhat of an acting job, but it's not about that. But it's really tough, really tough. So that's what makes it special. We are discerning in who we bring in, and you have to be able to nail it or see you later.
We did a little at the very start. An acting coach did come in, but to be honest, like we say, it's a lot of homework. You know, lots of research and growing up, listening and watching and genuinely being invested in the Beatles is what does it.
It's like being a kid, you just pretend to be someone else and look around. It's great.
Yeah, the mannerism are very important on stage. You know, all that kind of stuff John is with the leg doing that, or you know, that kind of stuff.
Attention to detail, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what kind of blows me away is you can bring this show to Moscow, to Tokyo, to America, to the UK, and people react the same. I could tell you, I could tell you in Let It Be what they're going to be doing. I can tell you in Hey Jude what they're going to be doing. Yeah, it's universal, and it's pretty cool to see. You say Canada, it's really cooler to see it like a Japan, where everyone's speaking Japanese, and then all of a sudden they're singing in English, right? And they're singing these songs. Or Moscow blew me away. When we were there, it's like these guys were almost mobbed. It was like they were the Beatles, and kids like singing this, kids and adults singing the music. But again, it wasn't their first language, but they know the songs. So that's kind of mind blowing when you see, you know, the universality of, you know, music, but the Beatles, of course. So it's neat to see.
I think the production, the music, is to have that much attention to detail, to the front of house sound and the effects, and you know, it's done so well that it's just such a pleasure to be playing within that production. You know, lights, video, everything. It's just amazing, and the audience reaction is so emotional. Well, they're so excitable and they're so emotional. I mean, there's a real wave of, you know, as you go through different songs and different eras, they just come along for it, you know, and they're just shouting up, dancing, clapping. In my life, they're crying, you know, and it's really like that. It's a good time at the end. So.
Yeah, I saw the show in London last year. Great show, great atmosphere. It was like being at a live concert in a way, a concert they never gave. So really exciting to have it here. I never thought we'd get a show like this coming here direct from the West End, but Jeff, the producer, had heard about what we'd done here with the theatre. I think he wanted to bring a Beatles show to Liverpool, which is their natural home. The show done really well in the West End and also done well in Liverpool when it was on tour here a year ago. So yeah, he made the phone call and they're here. They're here in October, and very exciting. Big show for us, big show for Liverpool.
I didn't plan this. I wasn't said I got to get this show to Liverpool, but just coming out here and walking down I mean, I've been to Liverpool, you know, 8 or 10 times already before this. I made a point of coming over here. Like, I wanted to see Matthew Street and the Cavern Club. I'll always remember the first time I walked down Matthew Street, and I said to my friends afterwards that it was like a religious experience. It was like, this is crazy. And especially when you see how simple and, you know, it's just amazing to see something that got that big starting from somewhere like that. And yeah, it was just neat. So yeah, you almost, it's beyond sort of fulfilling. It's sort of like surreal. You know, it's like I said today, and I don't know why I'm here. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, when I think about it more, neither do the Beatles make any sense. How the fact of them becoming what they were and all the factors that had to come into play just didn't make sense. So you never really pat yourself on the back, or you know, you just never do that. So I rather let's go on and make it even another chapter to this and take it to another step. So you know, that's just the way I am. But yeah, so I never dreamt I was going to be here. So it's hard to feel fulfilled if you never even dreamt it. It's beyond belief, I guess you could say. You know?
I feel just kind of a great night out. You know, we have a lot of Beatles fans in Liverpool. You know, we all know the story of them, but it's very rare to get the opportunity to see a big show like this. There's Beatles tributes around, but in a 1,200-seat theatre with that buzz and the production values of a West End show, it's quite special. So I think they'll get what they know about the Beatles, but more, it's a big show.
I totally understand what you're feeling as people watching the Beatles show, because I remember myself some years early doing the same. I was in the audience watching a Beatles show, and I remember what I felt about that, because it's incredible, because it's just the Beatles, it's the power of the Beatles, it's not us, it's not me, him, you know. It's the power of the Beatles, not me. You too, yeah.
You must be mate. Oh, thank goodness you're still here.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
Mr. Osborne, Tyler's father. I'm so mad at him. He sent me to fetch you.
Where is he? Isn't he coming?
He's been delayed. They're going to be late arriving here. He didn't want you to think he'd stood you up, so he phoned me up to come and fetch you. So I'm here in his stead. He's very a considerate boy like that.
So Megan is 15, and like most young people, she goes on the internet, and she's been chatting with a boy called Tyler for a couple of months, and he suggests that she goes to visit him in Blackpool. They can have a day out, and then she can stay over at his house because his parents are away. She's a little bit nervous, but agrees to this. Goes to meet him in the cafe. And a man comes in who says that he's Tyler's father, that Tyler's been delayed at a football match, which does sound right, sounds normal. Mr. Osborne introduces himself, he's a really nice man, and she goes back to his house with him. And unfortunately, there is no Tyler. Mr. Osborne is in fact Tyler, and things get progressively worse for poor Megan.
Would you like to order anything?
Oh, just a doctor's mug of tea for me, please. I really need to lose weight and try and get fit.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought you were having a heart attack when you first come through that door. Oh, you gave me quite a fright. I bet your daughter thought so as well, didn't you, dear?
Oh, I'm not his daughter.
No, this is not my daughter. This is my son's girlfriend.
Oh, me and me big mouth.
No harm done there. But you were quiet here for a Saturday, haven't you?
Yeah, it makes a change. I mean, I'm usually run off my feet.
It's a good job I'm not ordering any food then, isn't it?
Cheeky.
Was that your mobile?
Oh, it's from Tyler.
Hiya, Dad. Match hasn't started yet. Take your time. Have you picked up Megan? Is she pretty?
As a picture. Oh, and such. What's your favourite music? Oh, don't tell me. Little Mix, Pharrell Williams, Ed Sheeran, One Direction. Am I right? Or am I right?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Oh, Tyler talks about you all the time. It's Megan this, Megan that. Oh, you know, do you like the Beatles? Oh, I've loved the Beatles ever since my sister taught me the words of Norwegian Wood when I was 4 years of age. As a girl. I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good? Norwegian.
I know him. All she needs is love, and love me do.
Oh, don't worry, dear. There's nobody around to hear him sing. There you go.
Well, what's your favourite Beatles song?
Oh, there's so many. I think P.S. I Love You.
Oh, thank you very much. But I'm happily married.
Get away with you.
Do you know, we called the dog Lucy after Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Can we go now?
Finish your coke. Waste not, want not.
My mum always says that.
I remember when Irene approached me to do the play, we'd just finished another one, and I was very dubious at the time. I thought, what? But then, after reading the script, it really does give a message, and I was actually surprised how easy an intelligent young 15-year-old could be kidded. And we felt that the message should go out. Be wary on the internet, because Mr. Nice Guy, who I start off as, can turn into Mr. Bad Guy.
Basically, I think there's a lot of baddies on the internet, really. So I think it's important that kids nowadays know how to be aware of that. So it's more important that children are not fooled by, you know, a nice picture or a profile picture, things like that, really. So my character Megan is more, she's very vulnerable, and there are a lot of children like that now, so it's important for them to be aware that things like this can happen.
Come on, Miss Dizzy. Pizza time. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzie. That's another song you don't know. Pizza time.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Just put your hand between your knees. I'll get you a drink of water. Here now, come on, drink this. That's a good girl.
Where am I? Oh, where's Tyler? I want to go home.
Now, Tyler will be very disappointed if you're not here when he gets here. Now have some pizza. He'll be here soon.
Where am I? There's nothing but trees out there. Where's the car? When is Tyler coming? Where am I?
Norwegian Wood, dear. We're in Norwegian Wood. Isn't it good?
Where's me coat and phone? I need to ring me mum.
Come and sit down. Be a good girl. I've gone through a lot of trouble to cook this pizza. At least you can do is eat it. And I want you to sing Love Me Do. I said sing!
Love me do. You know I love you. Please, I can't go on. It's scared of me.
See? You do love me, don't you? I love you.
When is Tyler coming? I want to go home. I want to see me mum.
Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you my Beatles memorabilia. And I even got photographs. Some of them are signed. They're worth a fortune. Here's my pizza. Oh, it just burnt.
I want me mum. Help me!
Now, don't be a silly little girl. Come and drink this. This will make you feel better. Drink it up. Come on.
I want me mum.
Such a pretty girl. Such beautiful hair. Oh, let me tell you about the Beatles' White Album and its connection to Charles Manson. Charles Manson, he was one of the most famous, nay, infamous criminals of all time. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Because you're just a silly little girl. They say that it was the Beatles songs and the words in particular of the White Album that drove him insane. And yet, he was never declared insane. Funny that. One man's mania is another man's sanity. As I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me.
And that's the gist of it, really. And the idea is to let not just youngsters know, but everybody who goes on the internet and meets people, to just be very wary, to let people know where they are, you know, to meet people in a public place. And if you feel uncomfortable at any time, to just leave the situation as quickly as you can. Because there are a lot of people out there who may not be what they seem.
I think the more places it goes, the more people that see it, and the more people that can relate to the characters as well. You know, they'll say, oh I'm going to meet a boy on the internet, or I was going to do this. It might just make them think twice about it, especially after seeing what does happen to Meghan and her family as well.
It was a lot of the audience came up to both myself and the actors and said, you have to take that into schools. It's got such a good message. And I actually worked in schools for almost 20 years. So I have seen the growth in social media and, of course, young people, you know, meeting people that maybe aren't who they pretend to be.
The audience reaction. We played to 2 full houses here at the Lantern Theatre. And the audience reaction afterwards, I came out and the audience was waiting to say, well done. I thought they would lynch me. I thought, God, I remember saying to Irene, do you have to make me even more evil? And she said, yes. But they didn't. They congratulated me. They said we didn't realise. Again, it's in part of the play. If the mother had kept an eye on what the daughter was doing, it would never have happened.
So I am hoping, I've had some funding from Dingle Community Theatre to actually film the whole scene. We're going to put it onto YouTube and get in touch with schools, colleges, training providers, etc. And hopefully they will buy us in, because it is a play that's got a message, and I think it is very important that we get it out there, that not everyone is as they seem.
Have I got any horror stories?
On the internet yourself?
Just the fact that I met my current boyfriend on the internet. I don't know if that's a horror story. And I've been with him for 5 years. See, so some good can come of it as well, but I do think it's important to be made aware of the dangers of it.